Hello and welcome back to the When You're Podcast, the podcast for when you're doing anything. Today we're talking about when you're watching Surf's Up. I gotta say, dude, this movie is amazing. I think this movie is such a fun kids movie. It's one of the ones that just gets better and better as you get older because you find that there's a lot of good humor in it. You find that there are good themes to it. Like when I was a kid, when I first watched it, I was just like, oh, it's penguins, animals, surfing, water, beach. Like I didn't really fully grasp the story of the movie or like really understand like the style that they were doing because they were essentially doing a mockumentary or like the style that the movie goes off of is like a documentary, is about this surfing competition. It's a documentary about it or whatnot. But the style that they use, it's a mockumentary, which is just like them making fun of or putting it in a funny way. They kind of do a parody of it, which is hilarious. I think is absolutely fantastic, and I really prefer those kinds of stories. That's why I'm a big fan of the Office, where it's like that kind of mockumentary style is really it has a lot of great opportunity and moments for fun and for comedy, I think. But yeah, got to shout out to Shia LaBeouf again, dude. This guy knows what. This guy was on fire at a time. I think this was after Transformers, dude. We're doing like a whole Shia LaBeouf movie marathon, but yeah, dude, Shia LaBeouf. I think this movie came out in 2008, 2009. I don't remember. Maybe it was later on. Maybe it was 2011. Yeah, I think it was like a couple years after, so maybe 2011, somewhere around there, maybe. I'm trying to remember exactly. But yeah, I think it was around that time. But Shia LaBeouf delivers again, dude. He plays Cody in the movie. He's a penguin. I have to say, dude, this is some fantastic work that he's done. I mean, he plays boyish and charming, but also kind of like just like a regular guy. He's a real underdog in this movie, and he is in most other movies, but he has a very good quality voice for this character, for this role, and I thought it was like absolutely incredible. I thought it was great that he did this. So if you haven't seen the movie, if you haven't watched it, definitely go watch it. I mean, it's fun for all ages. It's definitely hilarious. It's got great bits in it, but long story short, it's about a surfing competition, and Cody is a penguin in I don't remember if it's Antarctica or the Arctic, but it doesn't matter. He's from the coldest part in the world, right? And he gets invited to do this. Well, not invited. They're doing a documentary on this competition, and they're looking for talent. And they come to the North Pole or the South Pole to find if anybody can surf over there. And Cody's like, I can surf, and he's like he has like an ice board, you know what I mean? It's just like that's how he surfs and stuff. And he auditions and he doesn't get in. He actually sucks, and they leave without him. But then he swims towards them and he catches up and he makes it into the surfing competition. He makes it along for the trip. So the story just kind of follows him as he gets into like the surfing world. He gets put on an island, and it's kind of like this whole competition, and he meets new friends. He checks out the other competition, the other players, and he's inspired by this guy called Z, who was like the best surfer he ever met, and he came to Shiverpool. Oh my gosh, yeah. That's the name of the fictional town that they make up for the penguins. It's called Shiverpool. I thought that was so funny. Okay, anyways. And it's a big shift for him because it goes from living in this cold, freezing temperature to going to an island. And I always kind of like that, he's in a completely different space. They're able to turn the whole thing, which is like what happens in most movies. Somebody goes from living in one spot and then they go into a completely different place. That's the way that most stories go, I guess. I don't know why I'm making it seem like they conjured up some brilliant idea, but I just like the contrast between like the cold and the winter weather as opposed to like the tropical, the sunny, and the feeling he gets when he's out there, and the new location I feel is really cool. But one of the main themes of the movie, and one of the most important, is that surfing is about having a good time. It's not about trophies, because like you can get into if anything that's like possible or like sports related, like swimming. You can just swim for fun. That doesn't have to be competitive, but obviously we challenge each other to try to see like who can swim the fastest, or who can do this dive the best, or who can swim in this with this stroke, or who can swim backwards the fastest, or who can we like to compete against each other, and then we try to win trophies. But like this movie tries to point out that surfing is just about enjoying the waves. It's about enjoying the water. It's about enjoying yourself and having fun, having a good time. It's not about winning trophies. It's not about the competition per se. And they do it in such a fun way. I have to say, dude, this movie is so funny. This movie has a lot of standout moments. Like I said, the Shiver Pool. I like the talking heads. Those are pretty funny. There's a lot of like, because he has a crush in the movie, and there's a lot of moments where he kind of gets like penguin blocked. I'm not gonna say the other one, but he's a little penguin blocked because one of the girl that he likes is a lifeguard. So to say, and she teaches like the younger penguins how to swim. And so the younger penguins will like pretend to drown so that she can come and save them, give them mouth to mouth. It's just like a funny little thing that they do. And he kind of gets penguin blocked by them. And it's just like stuff like that. I find is very humorous, and also very kind of like, I don't want to say like a means to split them up or to keep them from like really embracing each other, but it really is. It's just like to keep it kid friendly. There's no like big kiss, I guess. But shout out, dude, the main star. I mean, Shia LaBeouf, Cody, he's the main, he's the main character. But the star of the movie, dude, you got to give it to Chicken Joe. Chicken Joe, man, that guy is perfect. I don't know. I mean, they somehow created a character that's so free and so fun, but also kind of like smart but dumb. He's just like that perfect stoner character that I love so much. I think he really represents just chill. He's just such a chill guy, and he just likes what he likes. He enjoys what he does, and that's one of my favorite things about him. And then there's like a whole subplot of him going into the forest, into the jungle to find Cody, because throughout the story, Cody he gets into the competition. He doesn't do that well, and he kind of like runs away. Well, not runs away, but he kind of like washes up somewhere else, or he goes off to do his own thing. And Chicken Joe is like, dude, I got to find Cody. Cody just went out there missing all on his own. I have to find him myself. So he goes, and because it's like a documentary style, a camera crew goes with them. So shout out to the crew too, because they could have easily died as well, and they do get hurt, but they record the whole thing, and I found that so funny. It's like, if you're on the documentary crew, you're never actually alone. Like, you never face anything by yourself. They have to come and follow you and record all of it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like just like reality TV. You know what I'm saying? They just follow you, and you never face anything on your own. It's like you always have a camera crew following you. But that crew was a lot of fun. They do a lot of interviews and talking heads, which I really like. They interviewed Cody's family before he left for the competition. They interviewed them after he left for the competition. They interview, like, there's a moment in the movie where like Cody gets injured. He steps on like a sea urchin, and those urchins there, I almost said tentacles. I mean the spines, I can't. I think not thorns. Gosh, the spikes. They have like these long spikes or whatever, right? And Cody steps on one of them, and they actually catch up with the urchin that he stepped on. They were like, Well, how did you feel when you got stepped on? And then the urchin just starts talking. He's like, stepped on, stepped on. This guy was dancing on me. This guy was jumping all around me. He's like, look at all my spikes. You know, broken, gone, broken, gone. Like I thought that was just. That's such hilarious comedy. Again, if you haven't watched this movie, definitely go watch it. Don't listen to this. Watch the movie first and then come back and listen to this. I think the movie is available on Netflix. I don't know if it is or not, but definitely go check it out. And there's actually like a kind of like a unique thing that they did in the movie. Like certain animation movies or like voice acting work, they don't have all the actors like sitting together because some of them are on different schedules. Like it's hard to believe, but when they were making Shrek, Michael Myers and Eddie Murphy, they had never met. They never met during the recording process or during the whole thing with each other. They only met each other during the premiere, which is like wild to me, but that's how it goes sometimes. And for this movie, they actually had all the actors work together. So they had Shia LaBeouf working with Zooey Deschanel, and then they also had gosh, I can't believe is it Jeff Bridges? The guy who plays Big Lebowski, because that's kind of what he models his character after in this movie. Yeah, but they all recorded together so that way they could get like each other's reaction and they can actually work together. There's like acting involved in there, and they also do that. This method is even expanded upon. So for them, they're just reading the dialogue to one another. You know, it's not like full-on mannerisms and moving like they do in another movie, which I should definitely talk about. But all I'm trying to say is that like you could feel the chemistry in it. Like that's why the movie works very well together, and it's also kind of why I like the romantic plot of it all, because it was like maybe there was like a chemistry between the two of them what they were reading that was like it felt very natural, and it also felt like very kind of cute and awkward at the same time. You know what I mean? Which I enjoyed. So Cody goes missing. You know, he's out there in the jungle, and he comes across this shack. He's just like, all right, cool, we can take refuge in there or whatever. Oh, actually, no, he gets hurt. And then he gets taken to the shack by the love interest, the girl that he likes. And it's there that he meets Z, or like the world famous surfer, the greatest surfer to have ever lived. It's Z. And he meets him and he's like, he's not what he used to look like. He's not young and beautiful anymore, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? But like now he's kind of older. He's a little bit more overweight. You know what I'm saying? But he still has the knowledge and the thinking of it. So he meets him, and one thing leads to another, and they bond over surfing. They bond over like what they think, what surfing means to them, or like what matters to them in surfing. And Z doesn't give it all away at all at once, but he tries to teach Cody. So he makes him make his own surfboard, and that they make it seem so easy to do, which I'm sure it's not, but like there's something about it that I want to do myself. Just like the sculpting of the board, you know, he gets the seashell and he just starts making the board right there. I really like that a lot. I thought that was like kind of like a soothe. I could honestly do like with a whole ASMR of him just like shushing Cody and him like carving the board. I would really like that a lot. I also found that the water animation in this one was actually, it was really crisp. It was pretty nice. I mean, compared to what it is now, I still find it, you know, I still find the animation of it looking good, because with water animation, it's a little tricky, you know, but I guess it was more so back in the day, not so much then when they made it, but you know what I'm trying to say? And more often than not, when I watch this movie, it makes me want to go surfing. It makes me want to surf. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you feel that, and you get that kind of influence when you watch any kind of movie, right? Like, when I watch Pirates of the Caribbean, I want to become a pirate. I want to, like, hunt for treasure and do all this other crazy, and get in sword fights and whatnot, right? But, like, in this movie in particular, obviously, it makes me want to go to a tropical beach and just ride the waves and just surf, you know? I think that would be a lot of fun. And it's also like for a good chunk of the movie, they're like on an empty, secluded beach, which is also like so they get like some great waves. They get like a pretty good waves. They get like a good weather, great waves. So and it's all by themselves. Whereas like you go to any beach now, there's never gonna be any private. I mean, you can there are private beaches, yeah, but like you'd have to own the private beach. You know, it's like it's a whole thing. I guess the alternative is like you rent out the surfing spot where they mechanically create the waves for you, so that way you can get like the best practice in. Yeah, that would be the thing. And anyways, so Cody, we see him from a little kid when he first meets Z. And another funny part is like he gets the Z necklace from Z and he acts like it's like one of a kind, but actually it's like a merchandise. So he has like a bunch of millions of copies made. It's not like anything special, but to him it felt like everything, you know. It's like one of a kind. It's just for him alone. And I kind of just, there's something about Cody that I enjoy, which is like that young determination of like from a young age he always loved surfing. It was his passion. And to where he is, I mean, he's still a kid, he's still young, but the evolution of it and the change and the growth that he goes on is so much different than Z, and we'll see what that does. So, and what we learn is that like competition in surfing is not good. I mean, there's a lot of things that competition is good for. You know, it makes us better, it makes the sport better, it makes us challenge each other. Like those things are fine. Those things are, you know, if that's your thing, no problem. But it's also like you don't have to compete. Like you know, what are we all fighting for here? Let's just grab a board and just surf. Let's all have fun. Like it doesn't matter. Oh, dude, and I just remembered. So Cody gets hurt, right? He steps on this urchin and he gets poisoned. And he meets, well, he doesn't really meet, but he doesn't know it's Z, but he comes across Z. And in order to heal him, in order to save him from dying from poison, he has to get peed on his foot. And Cody doesn't know this. And so they pee on him. And he starts freaking out. He starts going crazy. And the girl, like, the love interest, like, bonks him on the head. And Z is just, like, letting it all out. And he lives, you know, end of the day he lives. But that pee scene was just like, that was how I knew that if something bad happens, you have to pee on yourself to kind of get it out, which is funny. But anyways, back to Z. So Z goes on like this full transformative period where it's like he's at the top of the sport. He's the best surfer in the world. You know, he's better than Tank. He's better than any other competition out there. But what he ends up realizing is that like the love that he has for the sport is kind of tainted because of the competition of it, because of what everybody else makes it out to be, because it's not what he loves anymore, or they've tainted it essentially. They've ruined it because they made it about winning. It's not about just having fun or enjoying the water or surfing. It's just about like who can stay on their board and who can fall off first. Like that's what it's become about. And so he fakes his death, and they have like a board hanging in memory of him. And I don't remember how long it's been since people have like actually saw him, but eventually Cody they have like a brother bond between the two of them. And he ends up saving Cody at the last second on like the final surf or whatever. And people find out that he's alive. They find out like, oh my gosh, like he's here, you know? And we come to realize that like he's a completely different, and it's why Z is like such a interesting character. Is like he went through so much growth, but it's also like, why hide? Like You were at the top of the, if you really wanted to change the sport, if you really wanted to adopt change, you could have had a bunch of other like-minded surfers who weren't into the competition, or, why did it take so long for you to come back, or to like, why'd you have to fake, or, what were you really trying to hide from? What were you trying to prove in hiding? Because, like, I don't know, in all honesty, I don't know how much better his life was in isolation. Like, obviously, he gets time for himself. He gets to surf. He gets to just, like, make boards and have fun. And he doesn't have to worry about, like, people's expectations of him, or, like, having to be Z. That could be a good thing. But it's also kind of like, if you really love the sport, you could just try to change it, which he eventually does. He changes Cody, and that changes other people as well from doing the competition. But it's also like, him hiding is kind of just an example of like him not loving. He doesn't love what it used to be, or what it is, and instead of trying to change it, he just hides himself, essentially. Which I don't know if that's the best way to do it, but in the final surf, it's Cody, Chicken Joe, shout out to Chicken Joe, and Tank, who's like the big antagonist, or the bad guy of the movie, I guess. He's just very full of himself, and he cares about all the things that Z doesn't. He cares about the trophies, he cares about winning, he cares about being number one, he cares about being on top. And as they're riding the waves, Cody's doing well, Tank is doing well, Chicken Joe is doing well, and we come to find out that Chicken Joe is on the cusp of failing. He's on the Tank's about to knock him out of the competition because he's larger in size. He's also a good surfer, and he's just trying to like knock him out of the competition. And Cody's like, if Chicken Joe gets knocked out, then maybe Tank will get knocked out, and then I don't have to worry about, I can win. Essentially, he has a opportunity where he's like, I could win. I could pass them both up while he's distracted with him. I could just pass them both up and score big points here. But instead, Cody's like, no, I don't care about winning. I care about saving Joe, and I care about beating Tank. It's like, because beating Tank, what he's learned from Z is that, like, he's completely what's wrong with the sport. He's what's wrong with surfing is that he only cares about the competition and about the winning aspect. He's not like surfing just to surf. He has to knock out Chicken Joe. He has to knock out Cody. So Cody's just like, you know what? That's not happening. Chicken Joe, get out of here. And then Chicken Joe like, Joo, he zooms out of there. And it's Cody versus Tank, and then boom, boom, boom. And that was a good moment of sportsmanship. It's a good example of letting others succeed, and also not letting the wrong person come in first place. Because sometimes we go, things happen, and people just win, out of nowhere. It's like, oh, that's not you shouldn't have won. Like you cheated, or you got ahead, or something else happened there. You know what I'm saying? Like something like that goes wrong. And throughout the thing, it was just kind of like not letting him win was what took precedent. It's just like somebody who's actually dedicated and who loves surfing just to surf should win. And that's why Chicken Joe won. Chicken Joe won the competition in the end. Cody came out the other end, he lost, but he also gained a lot. He gained new friends. He gained an understanding of surfing. He got to meet his idol. He even surfs with him. Like, they bond. They have a brother connection. It's like really cool. And Chicken Joe won the competition because he loves the sport. He just loves surfing. He likes riding the wave. He's such a chill guy. He's the kind of guy that we should all, we shouldn't all try to be like him. Everybody's different, but like just his passion for the sport, or his kind of carefree attitude towards it. You know what I mean? It's not like he was like, I'm going to win the competition. It was just like, I like to surf. And because I like to surf, they found me. They told me to come join the competition. He was very much like, I just like to surf, And there was another part in the competition where like he makes it to the next round. He was like, oh snap, we get to surf again? Sweet. Like he's just happy to enjoy it, He's just happy to be a part of it. And that's the thing that I like about him, is that he's not there for the sport. You know, he understood that a lot more than he understood that before Cody. You know, he was just there. And it's kind of a shame that him and Z don't have like more of a time together, but it would be kind of boring to see two of the same people essentially. And it's more interesting to watch the relationship unfold between Cody and Z, because they both think completely differently, and you want to see like, what does Cody think about all of it, and how does he change, and how does he develop as a character. But for Chicken Joe, he just connects without even trying. And that's kind of what we all want, is like to find something we're passionate about, connect with it, and not even like, it's not even work for us. It's not like us trying so hard. You know what I mean? Because Chicken Joe's not trying hard. He's just out there chilling. He's just having fun. Whereas Cody's a lot more, he has to think a lot more. He has to put himself out there a lot harder. And that's why Chicken Joe is like kind of the perfect person to win the thing. Because he also kind of is like Z, in that he just loves to surf. So at the end of the day, when you're watching Surf's Up, get ready for some laughs, get ready for some dope animation, get ready for some get ready to enjoy some good times, and really appreciate the things that you are passionate about, or like see how this connects to your own life essentially. And yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. I'll catch you guys all next time. Thank you.